Hello there, and welcome to my channel, Novice Modelling in a Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy, and today, as you can see, we have our special hobby, 172 Casa C-212-100 in the 172 scale, which is kit number SH72344 in front of us. And we're doing a what's in the box kit review for this particular aircraft. Now, this aircraft was actually kindly gifted to me back in October from a very nice chappie called Lewis in Spain. As basically wanted to give me something as a belated birthday gift. And he kindly sent me this one as he wanted me to build a real Spanish aircraft. A Spanish aircraft made in Spain. So that's what this kit is in front of us for, and we're going to be building this one up shortly over the next week or so. And as you can see, to celebrate it, and because I kind of like having a little drinky when I'm building a kit, I've been out and I've got myself a nice little range of Spanish themed beers, shall we say, because some of them are brewed in the UK. So we'll be supping on a couple of those and letting you know what we think of them when we go through the actual build. Now, as per usual, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the instruction sheet, have a quick flick through that. Then we're going to get the parts out and put them in front of the camera so you can have a look at how good or how bad they are. They look pretty nice, to be quite honest with you. And at the end, we're going to flick through this rather mountainous load of blurb so we can learn a little bit more about the aircraft. Obviously, we'll have a look at the decals as well. And we'll talk about a few other things, maybe. Now, this particular kit was a new tool released in 2017. There's actually about another 4 variations that Special Hobby do. Basically different decals and a few other variants, which, to be honest with you, it seems to be quite parts heavy with a lot of spares in this kit. So it's probably just the same kit and with a different set of instructions or some different decals that you actually get. It doesn't appear to come with any photo etch, because, thank God for that, I'm not really a massive fan of photo etch. I know some of you guys are. But yeah, it looks pretty nice so far. So onto the instructions. I'm just going to whiz the camera into a different angle so you can get a better look at them. So I think that's about right. So as you can see, we've got a, apologise about the dark space here, but that's the shadow of the camera. I can't really do nothing about that. So we have a sprue diagram here, and as you can see by all these red crosses, there's a whole load of parts that are going to end up in our spares box. Excuse me. Probably about half of them, to be honest with you. It's quite a dizzying array of spare bits that I'm going to end up with here. We get a couple of sprues, A, B, C, D, E, and clear parts, and a decal sheet. We've also got a colour reference chart here on what colours we're supposed to be using. I'm going to be using my new ICM paint box to go through this. I'm only going to need 2 colours, I think, which is sort of light grey and black. So first off, we've got the fuselage assembly and interior. As we can see here, we have to build up and pre-paint our cockpit interior in 3. And there is a load of decals that we can utilise for the cockpit instrument panel as well. So step 1 is put these bits together, put our portholes in, put our glazing parts in the front. We have a couple of smaller parts to put on as well on the exterior. Section 4, we're going to put one of quite a few different door options on the front of the aircraft. We're going to put the rear door on. We're going to put some more glazing and some more portholes in section 5. 6 and 7, we're looking at the wheels for the undercarriage. And in section 8, we're going to basically put all this together. There are a couple of areas here which we apparently need to drill holes for aerials, I'm kind of guessing, or something like that. And as we can see, we put the front glazing in at the same time we put the 2 pieces of fuselage together. Section 9, we're going to move on to some ailerons or flaps. Section 10 is the same on the alternate side. Section 11, we're going to put one of our nose cones, because there are a couple of options here as well. This one comes with a small glazed piece to go in also. There's an option for camo, a few more holes that are required for drilling by the look of it as well. Section 12, we're going to be looking at our tailplane. We're going to put our 2 wheels into our undercarriage. Got a couple of props with spinners to deal with. And we have these, not too sure what these are called, these little bits that go on the flaps and ailerons and what have you. Then section 16 and 17, we're going to be looking at our engine nacelles, stick our propellers in. Section 18, put the nacelles on to the wings. And then section 19, we're going to put our very large wing with its nacelles onto the actual aircraft itself. And it looks like pretty much we're all done. So there's a lot of parts, but there's a lot of spares. So interestingly, looks complicated, but probably isn't going to be that much complicated with all the spare parts. Now we get a couple of options for decals. The first one, as you can see, is the Escuadron Escuela Militar de Paradisimo Airborne School, Spanish Air Force, Murcia, Alcantara Air Base 2009, which is done in this pale grey. A couple of little black parts here on the undersides of the wings. Front and rear different colours on the propellers. And it's basically a few colours: light grey, black, red and white. And that's it. The second option we have is Ejército de Chile, Chilean Army. Santiago de Chile International 2008. The Chilean Army received 4 ex-Spanish machines in August 1978. One of them crashed in 1995. The remaining went on flying until October 2013. So that's an interesting Chilean aircraft that we could do. Obviously, we're going to be doing the Spanish, because we have Spanish beer. We haven't got any Chilean beer. And the second one is Armada República de Colombia, the Colombian Navy. The only C-212 that the Navy have on their strength was delivered in 2005 in order to ensure logistical support of naval facilities and operations. So there's an interesting one. That's got quite a cool camo pattern on it, I must admit, in this, what's that? Light grey, and it says grey, but it kind of almost looks purple on there, doesn't it? And we need a bit of black, red and white also. And then we get an advertisement for Special Hobby and all the other cool kits that you can actually buy from them, including some really cool AH-1G Cobras. And this one, the Saab J21R, which I actually have. So let's get on to the parts and have a look. I'm going to change the camera angle to that. So as you can see, we've got the wings here, made by Special Hobby. So we have the lower surface of the wings here. We've got a lot of nice detail panel lines, little hatches, all the usual stuff. Can't see any flash on it, no problems, just a lot of quite nice detail. Here we have the upper surface of the wing, running across as so. Moving on to the fuselage sprue. All looks nice. What's that? It's a bit of wet, a bit sticky fingers. So there's one. These fuel pods I don't think I need on my particular version. And there's the other side there. Now on this sprue here, we get a hatch in between the cockpit and the storage area. A couple of propellers, some wheels, parts of the undercarriage possibly. Looks like our instrument panel. Some different propellers, some more wheels, and I think now for the actual wheels to pop in. And we have a bunch of ailerons, a lot of nice detail going on these. And there's our couple of options on our nose by the look of it. Nice door here with hinges, door handle, a couple of other doors. That's that part done. And this one here, we appear to have 12 different options for the forward door assembly. So I've got almost enough there to build a fuselage out of, it would seem. Don't know what I'm going to do with all them. I think these are more pods for the undercarriage, like a couple of pilot seats. There's the interior floor. Looks quite nice. Got some engine nacelles here. So main part sprues done. Here we have our glazed ones. So we've got the cockpit. Not too sure what they are. A couple of landing lights probably. And then we've got two different options on the portholes for the transport area. So the ones we're going to be using are the circular ones. So I'm going to have a whole load of nice little square bits left over. Decals, as we can see, we've got the Spanish ones, I think, on the top here. Then we've got Chile. And then we've got, was it Colombia? I think it was Colombia, wasn't it? We've got Colombia on the bottom. So I'm going to have a whole load of cool decals left over as well. Don't know what the hell I'm going to do with them, but who knows. So for those of you still here, thanks for sticking with me. Now we're going to read the blurb out so as you can learn a bit. So as you've got something interesting to look at, there's the beer and there's the aircraft. Right, so here we go. In the late 1960s, the Spanish Air Force, or Ejército del Aire, was seeking a new transport aircraft type which was to replace outdated types such as the 3-engine Ju-52. They still had them in the 1960s, wow, which had been used since the 1930s. No specifications for the new transport and multi-purpose aircraft were issued. In order to meet the Air Force's needs, Spanish company Casa, Construcciones Aeronáuticas S.A., produced a twin-engine turboprop-powered high-wing, non-retractable undercarriage cargo aircraft with STOL capabilities. The all-metal construction airframe had the empennage rather high behind the inclined rear fuselage section with hinged tailgate ramp, enabling either light military vehicles to be embarked on the board, loading of large cargo or paratroopers to jump out of the plane. The project, known as the CASA C-212 Avio car, was eventually accepted, and a pair of prototype machines took off for the first time in 1971. The Spanish military assessed the suitability of the C-212 while using a small pre-production batch of 8 aircraft. The type received a military designation, the T-12. Large-scale production was commenced based on a huge number of orders from almost all around the world, and the type was also licensed built in Indonesia. Several consequent versions were also designed and built, differing by the type of engines used, elongated front fuselage section, larger tailplanes, or added winglets. The original C-212-100 was equipped with TPE 331-5-251C engines. The follow-up subversions were the C-212-100 with more powerful TPE 331-10-501C power units. The C-212-300 with longer nose winglets and fitted with even more powerful engines and different style of propellers entered in 1984. The C-212-400 has been produced having the TPE 331-12-JR-701C power plants, modernized avionics systems and increased payloads. The great number of customers and wide variety of their requirements was the story behind why so many versions have been in production so far, which differ not only by the power plants as described above, but more visibly by having many different styles of side fuselage sections and entrance doors. Yeah, we've seen them. The Ejército del Aire alone, besides the pre-production batch of T-12B airframes, which would be later converted for photo reconnaissance missions and known as the TR-12A, saw service of several other C-212 versions, ranging from the VIP transportation type through maritime patrol airframes with large radomes or sensors in the front fuselage and on top of the tail fin. It is obvious that the C-212 had been in service throughout the world and all over the continents, and the number of all civil sector users seems to be indefinite. In North America, the C-212 was used with the military of the United States, Central and South America, or air forces of Mexico, Panama, Chile, Ecuador, Colombia, and Argentina. The Casa is also still flying in Europa with air forces of Sweden, Spain, Portugal, France, and Malta. In Africa, the Casa can be seen from the very north down to the southernmost territories. The users were or still are, for instance, Chad, South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and others. Down under, the Australian Army used their C-122s in training of the Red Berry Parachute Display Team, and the Australian Department of the Environment used their C-212s as part of the Australian Antarctic Division over Antarctica. In Asia, the type is operated, of course, by Indonesia, but amongst other users, there might be mentioned also Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines. So there we go, that concludes our little kit review for this particular aircraft, and in a couple of days when I'm off, we're going to start building it with some regular sort of updates and what have you. So thanks very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and in one of the later videos I'll be doing a cheers with some beer, but unfortunately today I have to go to work. So thanks very much for watching, and as always, be seeing you.